Okay, it's 4 in the morning. We have very little time to push on Mook, and we're looking at a load of armor on the road. This is a problem. So here's what we have. We have this unit in the middle that stopped their attack halfway through after this kind of stunt start attack move defend thing. So now they have a defend order that's coming through to here, I think. This group here was defending an area, and then what we're going to have them do is try to push through. I think what we're going to have them do now is set an attack order that tells them to drive right into here, which will sweep through this area. This is probably going to be an issue because that means we're going to be pushing across here when they have armor support. So that's probably not going to go very well. Everything that we choose from here is going to be of the not going to go very well variety. And there's really not too much we can do about that, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to lead an infantry attack through here, maybe into the forest here if we can, and then we're going to support them with some of this flak that's over here. We have supporting flak over here that's going to try to hold our flank, and I want to keep them there. We have this unit over here that's just kind of we're going to leave these guys alone. We're not even going to spend any time on them. And then we have our heavy flak battery down here, and then we're also starting to get some guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell these guys, this is the new airborne company that came through, and we have a number of other reinforcements that are flying in. This is the only one we care about. The other ones are just our engineer corps, which is not going to help very much. They should be strong, but they're not really going to help very much, to be honest. So we're going to have these guys do move orders, and we're going to tell them to... We may tell them to park and rehorsed. This is a lot of guys, though. I really prefer not to have them just park and rehorsed. But I may have them do... And for some reason, this is not wanting me to cancel anything. We may just grab one of these. This is our infantry howitzer, which, oh, this is just our infantry gun. But these guys are coming up. What are these guys? Also another one. And then these guys are way over there. That's not very helpful. What we may want to do is just have these guys, this mortar unit, come in and hold and rehorsed. So let's just tell them to come through, hold and rehorsed. And then we're going to sweep these guys through, push off any group that's here, and then just go ahead and push into here. So let's tell them, we're going to tell them to move. There's absolutely going to be some forces in here because we currently don't own rehorsed. So we're going to tell them to come to here. And then what we're going to have them do is come up through the forest into here and push across to here. And then we're going to see where they're at once they get there. We are going to tell them that I want them to move quickly. We're running out of time. I think this scenario ends at the end of the day, like at 8 o'clock or so in the afternoon. We're going to tell them to go shortest because we've set up a path for them that should be fairly safe, so that's okay. And we're going to tell them they can attack on the way, and they can be... I'm going to leave them on aggression normal, but I'm going to put the rate of fire on max because I really want them to push through this thing. And we're going to minimize their resting. That's one. These guys up here are starting to pull back and defend in this area. We're going to tell them to stop doing that. So we're going to let that run for just a moment. Good. We do want them to pull back, but we're going to have them push through and attack to here. So we're going to say move. What we may do is like a move to here. And then they may, you know what? I think we were going to have them hold this area. So that defend order, we probably could have kept on there. So let's go ahead and tell them to defend in this area. And this actually makes sense because that defend we didn't want. We're going to tell them to go fast. We're going to tell them to go shortest. We're going to tell them minimum aggression. Once they get here, they're going to go into defend and they're going to get rid of this stuff. So we're also going to tell them to bypass because I want them to get there very quickly. That's fine. Minimize. This can stay here. This is going to be kind of our fire support. This group in here is moving up to here. Do we want them to do something? No, this is the group that's going to be pulling back to here and then defending. This group in here is currently just hanging out. I would like them to push through here and then do an attack order, but I really need more forces. So we may have them do... We're going to see if this armor company wants to... This battalion here, if they want to get a little bold. So what we're going to have them do is we're actually going to have them do an attack directly into here. So we're going to say, set up your attack from here. And I want you to push into here. And I want them to hold that. We're not going to tell them fastest. We just want them to get there. But we will tell them shortest. You know what? Let's do covered, because they may come back to this other area and then avoid any fire. But we are going to tell them to throw down hard and fast. And that's fine. Let's give them lots of ammo, too, because they're going to need it for this next attack. This only really matters when you're talking about support lines, and we may be running into support line issues as we have them drive in here. So we're going to make sure they have quite a bit. And direct already supported. Good. We have this team in here, which are currently defending Poppenberg. We're going to leave them in Poppenberg until otherwise. So we may decide to push them in later. And we have this group over here, which I don't know what they're doing. They're supporting, which is fine, I guess. They're going to be overrun. We may just let them sit here and be overrun. I don't really care too much, to be honest. Let's get this thing running. And we're going to see how this thing works. With our order delay, this is going to be problematic. This whole thing here is problematic. Yeah, so what we're trying to do from here, and we're going to be keeping an eye on reinforcements that are going to be coming through, so we're looking for the yellows up here. There we go, like that. So I think this is an infantry group. Or, not an infantry group. These guys here. This is not infantry, this is engineer. So let's just make sure that was the one reinforcement. Yep, it is. So this is just one group of engineers. And what we're going to tell them to do is we're going to tell them just to go into rehorsed. So just move into rehorsed. And they're going to go quickest. That's it. Dismiss, keep going. We're not going to tell them to go fast because that could really tire them out. So they're taking a rest order right in the middle here. Finally, they're getting the move orders coming through. Yep, I'm amazed this unit hasn't been destroyed yet, to be honest. Okay, we have another engineering crew that came through. No, not this one. Let's make sure they're not over here. No, that's not it. Probably, yep, right down here. And we're going to tell them, actually, to move directly to... let's put them in here. And same thing, let's have them move safest. Just like that. And we're going to tell them to bypass. Yeah, they're going to go through the forest. It'll take them a little longer, that's okay. Let's make sure we don't control any... of course we do. Let's pause this for a second. So... we somehow got a hold of all of these, so they haven't been providing fire support. Again, problematic. But these guys were the big ones, and they're just providing direct fire support over here, and that's okay. I don't mind that. Like you can see, they're pushing this artillery off pretty heavily, and their artillery is coming in quite heavily. So what we kind of want to see this right here, because what I want to have happen is I really want. Oof, they got wiped. That's no surprise there. This armor is just going to drive right down my throat here and then probably knock these guys out. And there's not a whole lot I can do about that right now. But they're going to be starting to pull back. So this is what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for here is to have these guys come into this forest, hold up positions, and then I want to draw this armor team down. If we can get this armor team to come down, I may be able to have a combined push into Mook. It's already almost 6 o'clock. We are losing the time. Where are our last reinforcements? Did they come in and we just didn't see them? That's probably what happened. Let's look. Yep, here they are. This is our last group of reinforcements. Pretty good sized group of infantry. So what we're going to have them do is we're going to have them do a quick move right into... let's see, that's just holding. I don't want to have them meet over here. I really want them to push into here. So we're going to tell them to do a attack order, and they're going to shake out here, and then I'm going to have them push directly into Mook. So we're going to say go from here. Gosh, part of me wants to come a little bit higher, but now these guys are already starting to come in, so that's going to mess things up. And then just push right into Mook. Oops. No, that's not what we want. There we go. So we'll have them do it like this, and let's have them come in a little bit, like that. And then we're going to tell them, go ahead and do this. We're going to tell them to go fast. So they're going to be tired by the time they get here. But if we don't do this, we're going to see how long it takes them to get here. So we're going to say get here quickest. And that's it. Let's keep going. They have this wall of force that's over here now, which is a problem, and I really can't do anything about that. I can almost guarantee you that if I try to push into here, there's going to be some infantry forces along this side as well. So you can already see they're starting to push through. What I'd like to do is get some of these forces to drive into here, and let's actually start doing that. I would like to have some early fire assaults coming through here, which starts to tie them up, and then I'm hoping we can do a drive-through attack as the men come in. We have a light flak battery. Let's have these guys pull back. I'd like to have them defend in this area, because then we can defend against this section. And then these guys, let's go ahead and have them start getting in the mix. So we have all these sections. I want to have them start doing an attack down into the forest here. Let's see if we can start drawing some of these forces away. So we're going to just delete their current orders. Good. And then we're going to tell them, I want you to attack. So this section here, it's pulling from other groups down here. What are these guys order right now? I think these are all pushing into here. See these weird defend orders again. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here with that. And then these guys are all part of this, which will slow them down. So let's just grab these guys along with them, and I don't know if they're attached to anything right now, so we're just going to leave them be. And we're going to tell them do some attack orders starting here, and then come through to here. Yep, I want them to push into this area and start tying these guys up. Okay, and we are going to tell them to go fastest and shortest. And I really want them, we're even going to tell them max losses. I want them to tie them up very badly. And directory support, yep. Good. Okay. Here come our infantry, our engineer. I'm not sure why I have such a hard time with their names. Our engineer groups, and they're going to be coming in. I'd like them to support this attack, and you can see they're being hit probably by this group over here. And here's a second machine gun team, so this is just causing further problems. So these are going to gear up and then start pushing in. These guys down here, where's their lead? Is up here. I think some of our guys got wiped out. One of our HQ units got wiped out. It won't let me select this guy. Here we are. Okay, no, they're doing defend in this area, so they're holding them here, which is actually what we want. Our heavy flak battery is being pushed out. That's not great. We really need this as an anchor over here, but now they're just starting to be thrown down on. Hey guys, you know, whenever you want to start getting in the mix, your buds from down the way are already there, and you have nobody nearby. Just saying, maybe you want to start going. Let's take a look at this order. Right, well, they've been given orders, and when did it say they were supposed to be starting? Starting at 8:24. Yeah, see, it's doing it again. I'm now wondering if it's just the actual scenario itself that's now busted. I don't know. Or they're all a part of this group up here, possibly when they got pulled under. Very odd. Let's just tell them to do a move order right into here. So I'm wondering if these guys just try to grab them for some odd reason and then put them under theirs. I haven't seen that happen before though, so that's strange. So these guys have their order, and we're going to tell them attacks on the way, and then fastest and shortest as well. So with all these issues, I mean, it's pretty, and now we're getting hammered pretty bad by this armored force that's in here, because now we're coming up on the hill. So these guys are coming over, and they're going to start to form down here. It's a whole separate group. Yeah, we're pretty much screwed on this one. There's we're being hit from all the sides, so even our reinforcements that are coming through are being hammered on. This, by the way, was very similar. It's been a while since I ran this scenario last time from the Allies' perspective, but this is very similar to what ended up happening with me. The Allies get just a ton of reinforcements, are able to drive down both from the north here. These are keeping me busy somewhat, but not really. So what we can do here is we can even say, like, you know, do an attack. So form up here, and then see if you can get to Williamsburg. You're not going to be able to, but it gives them something to deal with. So they're starting to form up. These guys are taking fire, so it's going to take them even longer to come through here. What I may do is tell them try to go covered. And then they'll try to stay in this area. That's the hope. The problem is that some of these guys, like these, are cars. So they're going to have to come down through here, and it's going to be problematic. So what we may want to do is just tell these guys, this is a flak group that's trying to go against armor. That's never going to work. Let's instead have them come down to here. So we're going to have them break off. That way it's just the infantry groups that can then move through the forest directly. See, now they're all starting to pull through here since I changed it over to covered. So they're going to move away from the armored group, which is good. But you can see how much stuff they're starting to pull down from the north now. It's a pretty heavy stacked against setup for the Germans. Okay, let's see what we have going on here. They're still thinking about moving up, and it looks like it's done another one of these let's move up only one group instead of a combined assault. So there's definitely some oddness going on here. I'm not quite sure what that is. This force in here has now been fully tied in with this group. So this one company of airborne is causing us all this issue. Oh, there's also some engineers here as well. Still, hopefully this group will be able to come in here and wipe them out, and then we can continue to move through. Okay, let's see who we got. This group is now in the area, and they are defending. What we may want to do is we could try to push down through here with this into Mook as they're coming across. Now this attack is starting to form up to be able to move forward, but it's just going to take them some time. See, now they're already starting to form up here to be able to push in. So we may want to do for a second is just stop here, and we may want to say just go ahead and attack. There's a couple in here, some heavy mortar and then some of these. We're going to say just form up in this area and push directly into the city. This is doomed, but what my hope is that by this combined assault, that we'll be able to start making some kind of headway into here. And to be honest, we've run out of time. You know, it's already 11 o'clock. Scenario ends. Oh, the scenario ends in the next day. Well, that makes it even worse, because that means they have even more time to start smashing us. So that's great. I know the Allies get even more reinforcements. So what we're gonna say is we're gonna see how this attack. See, now you're in this kind of combined force that's coming through to perform their attack, and then these groups here should start to come down as well. So you're going to have kind of this, not wave attack, but it's going to be a combined arms attack. There's not really a great way to do this, to be honest. I mean, I could try to push through here, but then we're going to be slogging in the forests, and all they have to do is just swing back over. That's it. And then we're in the exact same boat. I would love to be able to push into here, but with this armor just sitting in this valley, there's not a whole lot we can do. This is kind of the problem with the scenario, is that it's made so that you need to get in this area so that you can bottleneck them. But even if you do, they're still pulling reinforcements down through here. Part of me really likes these kind of scenarios because you're stacked up. You know, when I played this as allies, I was able to very easily sweep through and wipe out just about everything. And it felt easy mode. But now going through this on the German side, it's very difficult. And that's actually a good thing, because now, like, this is something I can see myself playing again and again and again to see how far I can get through this thing. Like, now I know. Like, I felt like, yeah, I'm slow, but it wasn't terrible. You can see I'm just getting pounded. I'm not even really paying attention anymore, to be honest, because I know this is not going to fly. And with all the issues I've been having with orders, I think something kind of broke halfway through. Like, this attack went through, and everything else kind of stayed back, which was odd. This attack is coming in, but it's too little too late. Best case scenario, I think if I was going to do this again, what I would do is I would have some kind of, because there's a lot of forces through these forests, and you do have to go through them, but what I would do is I would tangle these forces up with the unit that I had down below, the brigade that I had down below, and then take maybe even one or two and just drive them straight through here. Because at the beginning of the game, there's very, very few forces that are in these forests. And I think if I could sweep around them and drive straight into Mook and then hold this choke point here, the tanks at that point, the only thing they can do is they can come around this way. Like, you know, the bridge here is blown, so they can only come down this road. And if you set up this kind of a choke point here where they have to try to push through that, that's not going to work very well. And then at this point we have the high ground. It's a tall order, though. I could see us getting into here. like just into here by the first day if we were to push it really hard. And then what we'd want to do over the course of the night is secure this area right in here. So if we can get these crossroads in this section, this is the only other place where armor can come down, because this is all forest. So if we can choke point this as the Germans and choke point this, they're largely stuck, and then just hold some forces back here at Poppenberg. But if we throw everything we have basically into the nursery and in the area north of Bissay, or however you pronounce this, and then just a token force like we've been doing up here. This just, I mean, look, this is actually soaking up quite a few forces. And we don't even have to take this. We just have to kind of stay in the area to challenge. So they have to honor the threat. I think that's the way you would do this one. Like, look, I have tons of forces right now, and that's great and all, but it doesn't matter because I'm up against armor and artillery, and I have nothing that can deal with this stuff. You can't attack heavy. You can't attack armor with a lot of infantry and expect to be successful unless it's in a very enclosed area like in this. Like if I had some forces in here, maybe. But you can already see they have infantry too that's been blocking in this area. And this group right here is an armored car company. So they've had really good forces. And by the way, this engineering company, the reason why they're so good in the forest and up close is because they have flamethrowers. And yeah, they have bazookas as well, and you know our engineers also have the same, but you know we have like Panzerschrecks and Panzerfausts, but you're not going to be consistently knocking these guys out at any kind of close range. We'd probably do some damage up here with them, and they would drive them out, but then they would just fall back into Mook, and then we still have to cross this open area. This is why it's important. I played this scenario called Joe's Bridge, where the Allies have to get across a bridge, and the Germans have to defend it. Now, the Allies have a ton of armor, and the Germans have basically only infantry, and they have, I think, one squadron, like, 8 or 9 tanks. I think they're like Panzer IVs, so they're not bad, but they're facing up against, Shermans and whatnot, and some pretty big Shermans, too. They got the Jumbos and the 76s. So what you can do is, if you can choke point them, you can force them to attack into you, and that's way easier because then you can defend across this area, and then they have to drive into that where everybody can fire on it, and we're all bunkered in and well defended. Whereas here, they're bunkered in and well defended and hull down, and we have to push across that. See, now, just like I mentioned earlier, all this armor has to do is just move back across. So they're able to swing back and forth through here. And I'm not complaining. I did the exact same thing as the Allies when I was playing on this. I had the armored car and the armor just literally swinging back and forth against the Germans because they were trying to do the exact same thing. So I think this is a good stopping point because it's 5 o'clock. We're well past our attempt. Attacks are stalling out. I'm not surprised here. We made a valiant effort, but yeah, this is we have to have this area by before the end of the first day. Well before the end of the first day, before the first armored cars start coming in. So we can attempt that next time. But I think kind of lessons learned. Too slow, force too many units through a narrow front. We kind of try to send all of our guys, or a good chunk of our guys, right into this area, because my hope was that I could clear them out. And I did clear them out, but they did an excellent job on acting as a delaying force. So they stopped us from getting to Mook, and Mook was the key. So they did their job, and they were awesome. And we did less of a good job, and we were less awesome. Either way, they did manage to push through to here, but historically, this is kind of similar to what happened. Now, historically, the Germans actually got up into here, and then they got pushed back from Mook once the reinforcements came through. So we were slightly behind it, but in the end, the results are the same. These guys are going to end up being pushed back by additional reinforcements to come through. So good try. I think we could even try this again for the push on the nursery and Bissay up here, and see if we could hold those two things. I think those are the two keys. But anyways, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it more than I enjoyed getting pounded on it. But I had a good time with it. So thanks everybody for joining. Stay tuned. See you next time.